Some people hesitate to cook live crab because they imagine they hear them screaming when they cook them. That's really the sound of steam escaping from the shell.
Oh my God! It's so hot!
There's your steam. Are you suffering from cast iron guilt? Well, a lot of people are because they have something like this at home. This is nothing to be ashamed of. What you can do is take this pan and in a few short minutes have something that's beautiful again. You can either use steel wool or you have one of these. And you've got a brand new pan. It's that easy. Okay, I cheated a little bit, but it's almost that easy. Want to rub it with a little peanut oil after you get the rust out. Put it in the oven at 250 for about, I don't care how much you love garlic, you don't want your fingers to smell like garlic after you've been working with it, and soap and water won't get it off. So here's a great tip. Rub your fingers against something made of stainless steel under cold water. Like magic, the smell goes out. Apparently, the ion bonds that hold the smell to your fingers are broken by the stainless. I've actually taken this to my personal hygiene. This is my shower spoon. Now, most recipes call for opening a coconut with a hammer, which I think just destroys it. It's easier, since coconuts are pre-scored at the market now, to use the back of a cleaver. Give a well-placed blow right in the center, and you're left with this glorious white flesh. You use the flesh, you give the shells to the professor, he makes a ham radio, everybody is happy. Do yourself a favor, next time you make chili, don't use the stuff in a jar. It can be months old. Go ahead and buy some whole dried chilies, soften them up in a warm pan, no oil, and then put them in a coffee grinder. If you want it really hot, leave the seeds in, otherwise you can take the seeds out, and what you're left with is a fresh chili powder that is loaded with flavor. Over really hot. Fresh fish should be cooked within about 12 hours or you lose flavor. Now, if let's say you buy it Monday, you want to cook it Tuesday, put it in a plastic bag, cover it with ice, put a pan underneath to catch the drips, and put it in the fridge. You'll buy yourself an extra 2 days. Now, what you do at that time, that's your responsibility. When you buy clams at the market, generally they'll be given to you in a plastic bag. If you take them home and put them in the refrigerator like this, they're going to suffocate because they need oxygen. They're alive. If you put them in water like this, well, they're going to suffocate also because there's not enough oxygen in this water. By the way, the dead giveaway of a dead clam is when it doesn't open when you cook it. Then throw it out. What you need to do is put them in a dry bowl, cover them with a damp cloth, pop them in the fridge. They'll probably live for 5 days, happy as a clam. One of the problems with using fresh corn is it tends to fly all over the place when you cut the kernels off. See how it flies? It's just going oh my, see? Now what you can do is use the wrong tool for the job, meaning use an angel food cake pan. The kernels fall right into the pan. That is exciting to me. That kind of tells you about my life. I want to talk about the most underrated tool in the kitchen. That's the towel. Let's say you're about to cut some lemons, your board's moving all around. What you have to do, put a damp cloth underneath, put the board down. You couldn't move it if you wanted to. All right, if you're going to beat some egg whites, well, the bowl's going to move all around. What you need to do is also put a towel down in a circle, pop the bowl there, and it keeps it steady. If you're squeezing lemons, you don't want the seeds to go in the juice, just like that. I suppose if push came to shove, you could even wipe a counter with it. Get out of here. Escoffier once said that the pleats in a chef's hat, every one of those stands for a different way a chef should know how to cook eggs. Now, I don't have a hat, so I just know how to cook eggs one way, hard-boiling them, but I do a great job. Put the eggs in a pan, cover them with cold water by about an inch, bring them to a boil. As soon as it boils, take it off the heat, cover it, and let it sit for 10 minutes. You'll have a perfect boiled egg every time. And really, what could be better than a perfect boiled egg? Okay, a lot of things, but that's not the point. You know, a lot of people use different techniques to avoid frying when they cut onions. They might have a fan going to blow the fumes off or a candle to burn them off. I've even seen people wear goggles to avoid frying. The best technique, probably a very sharp knife. Now, personally, I say, what's wrong with a good cry? Now, anytime you have a recipe for a layer cake, it means you have to have layers. In order to have layers, you have to bake 2 cakes or bake 1 and cut it in half. You can use one of these. It's very expensive. You probably don't have one. Or you can use a Lazy Susan and just put the knife right in the center, turn the cake around, never move the knife, and pretty soon the knife comes through and you have 2 layers. If you don't have one of these, I'd suggest one of these. It doesn't really cut the cake at all, but it's got a great beat and it's easy to dance to.